Cub, down the front here. First of all, congratulations. Absolutely sensational fight this evening. You've had an hour or so to kind of, take it all in. And what was kind of the reception like when you got backstage from everyone? And, what were people saying to you?
It was a little overwhelming. It's just, I didn't get hurt that bad. My head's clear, but it was just so chaotic. I don't really remember the fight. So everybody's just saying how great of a fight it was. And I was like, well, I guess it was if you guys keep saying it.
Yeah, it certainly was. Talk to me about the time in the second round. They seemed to have you in a bit of trouble, actually. It was a back-and-forth fight, and he obviously had his moments. Did you ever feel in real trouble at all?
No, with the headshots or the body shots?
Or both. It must have both hurt.
At the very end of the second, he hit me with a knee that hurt, and then I kind of tried to play it off, and he went right back to my body with a punch, so I knew that he saw. But when I had him rocked, and then I was with a huge flurry, and then he hit me with a shot and it backed me up, it was because I got tired. I decided to go on defense and recharge my battery and let him blow his wad and then go right back, so I wasn't in any real danger.
And what was kind of the emotion, obviously, when you did get your hand raised? Is this one of the best victories of your career so far?
I mean, it sounds like it. I'd like to watch it again, but, maybe when I get a couple hours of sleep and let my body heal up before I watch this one.
And what's kind of the plan now for, I guess, the rest of the years to head back home for the holiday season? But when do you kind of want to get back in there in 2017?
I just want to go home, spend some time with all my family, enjoy the holidays. Over 13 years, I've really, sacrificed a lot and been very selfish with my time. So, at this point in my career, I really enjoy my downtime. So I'm going to do that. And then, if the UFC calls me for a big fight, I'll be open to hearing it.
I know you said that you're going to have to, go back and watch the fight and sort of see how it sort of played out. But just being in the cage, where does this rank in terms of some of your favorite performances in your career? Because this was a fight that I think when people look back at the card, they're going to say this was a fight they'll remember.
Well, yeah, I'm happy for that because at this point in my career, it's like, why am I still doing this? I don't want to be declining in my performances. I feel like if I start declining my performances, then I shouldn't do it anymore. But I feel like after 13 years, I've been doing everything possible to get better, be better. My last two fights before this one, I had a specific game plan to, the things that Frankie Edgar exposed to me, I fixed, and I showed that. And then this fight, was another fight that made me think about my Max Holloway fight, that loss. So, I was challenging myself a lot in there and being able to showcase my skills once again and be a better version of myself, just makes me happy.
You're fresh off the win here, but you fought a lot of guys in the featherweight division already. Is there one that sort of stands out to you as far as a next fight that you'd like to have if you could play matchmaker yourself?
Honestly, I don't care. I just want a big fight. I think I deserved it. I've been here a long time. Just stop doubting me.
Hi, Cub. Just a couple of questions. You mentioned how chaotic that fight was. Obviously, we all saw it. What can your corner possibly be telling you in a fight like that that's useful to you at all in this situation?
We had a certain game plan, just kind of moving and not being a stationary target. I didn't really feel like that was working for me. And I kind of knew in the back of my head that at some point I was going to have to brawl with him, but I wanted to kind of break him down a little bit before I brawled with him. Because he had so much success in the first round. But then my coaches were telling me in between rounds, you're doing better when you pressure him. Just get right in his face. He doesn't like it. And I didn't really want to hear that because I was tired. But I was like, all right, that's what we got to do. I'm taking more damage backing up, so I need to push forward.
And I know he'd been calling you out for a while, which some might perceive as disrespectful. But after going 3 rounds with him like that, what are your thoughts on Choi now?
Well, all the film I watched on him, I was a fan of his before the fight, and when he called me out, I definitely thought it was a little disrespectful, just because I felt like he only called me out because he thought I, wasn't as good as I used to be or something, and it motivated me, and I was ready to come out here and prove everybody else wrong.
Hey, Cub, Dave from Hammer MMA. So You obviously have fought before against Jose Aldo and Max Holloway, who now hold the interim and the main belt for the featherweight division. Do you want to get back in there with both of those guys, or either of those guys? And are you planning on keeping busy, or would you rather wait until the opportunity rises to strike at the belt?
We'll see, but you know, I'd definitely love to fight both those guys. I'd love to watch that fight. You know, at the end of the day, I've always been a fan, as well as a fighter. I started as a fan, so you know, when these matchups get made, I get super excited to watch them. So I'd love to watch that fight, and then, you know, if I'm the next one in line, then so be it.
And you come from a camp with some of the best fighters in the world. You, Donald Cerrone, and your partner Lando Vannata all won tonight. How awesome is it to be training with 4 guys who are going to peak at the same time? And what's the celebration party going to look like when you guys get back to Albuquerque?
It was awesome. I think I'm the most proud of Lando. He's been a training partner for a long time, always putting in the hard work. I've been telling people about him for maybe 4 years now. And seeing him win earlier tonight made me super happy to see guys, you know, that I've watched their career, you know, just rise. That was special. But I was telling the guys backstage, it was right when the main card started, you know, with Tim Kennedy and Cowboy and me and Lando and all the coaches were just kind of like weaving in the workout room, and everybody kind of was focused, and it looked like sharks in the water. It was pretty crazy. It was a powerful room, and we knew that it was going to be a good night for us.
Hi, Cub. Matt Cole, Art Voice. Congratulations on a big win.
Thank you.
You're number 4, or you were number 4 coming into tonight, coming off of a decision, but a very high-profile win. And usually that means somebody looking up in rankings, but a lot of people are already calling for this to be a Fight of the Year candidate, myself included. Usually that means a rematch. Is that something, even though he's ranked number 11 coming into this, is that something you'd be interested in? What are your feelings on that?
I don't really see the need for it. I've never been given a rematch for my losses, so I don't really feel like giving anyone a rematch for my wins until I get the Chad Mendez, the Lamas, the Holloway, the Aldo, all the bigger fights that I've lost. If I got those rematches, I'd be open to some of the ones that I actually won.
Hey, Cub. Congratulations on your win. Thomas Lee Rice on television. Question is, were you surprised at the hard chin that Doo Ho had? You were just giving it to him, but he was just standing there.
I was definitely surprised. I was surprised on his quickness. I thought that I'd be a lot faster than him. He was kind of getting me to bite on some of his fakes, and so that's one of the reasons I switched up my game plan. And definitely his toughness when I started giving it to him. I could not believe how fast he was recovering, and he's definitely got heart, and you know, I'll be a fan of his forever.
One last question is, how did you like the standing ovation you received after the interview with Rogan?
I didn't even notice it, to be honest. I think that's awesome, though. That's why I do this sport. That's what it's all about. And you know, I've always fought with my heart on my sleeve and give it everything I got. Obviously, you guys see how emotional I always get, but that's how much I put into it. So, you know, something like that, it makes it all worth it.
Hey, Cub. Cub over here. You'd mentioned basically that he kind of got you to train harder and want to, you know, step up in this. But it seems like, too, you know, after those couple losses, we weren't talking about you anymore, really. I mean, do you need that kind of motivation at some point, you know, when you've been around the game that long to say, you know what, man, people are sleeping on me, or this guy's sleeping on me to get better?
It's nice sometimes, but I've always showed up in shape. I've never missed weight. I've always been a professional, so I don't necessarily need that. But every fight's different. Every fight's a different journey, and so each one you just kind of gotta deal with it, you know, the way it comes at you, and make the best of it. So this one in particular, I was fired up for, and you know, it turned out to be a great fight.
Cub, just here. Say yourself, you were a fan before you were a fighter. There was a moment there at the kind of end of the second round, and the fans here in Toronto have waited 3 years for a good UFC event to be back here. There was a moment where the entire crowd were on their feet, and you kind of gave them that moment. Does that mean something to you, and did you kind of take a minute to kind of take it all in towards the end?
Well, it definitely means a lot to me because there's a lot of people talking crap about this card, and it was the forgotten card, and I was a little disrespected by that. You know, people were even talking about boycotting the card. So I was just like, okay, you know, I never try to be in a boring fight. So, you know, when we got, you know, Cowboy added to the card and a couple other studs, the card just started to looking better and better. So I'm glad that people got their money's worth, and I'm happy to have contributed.
Is there something about this place? Because 4 years ago you had a KO of the night here.
Yeah, you know, I wasn't really stoked about it because I don't really like the cold, but this is a beautiful city. I can't deny that I've had good luck here, and I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I had the performance here, and I'm glad I was around a great crowd.
Fair fight.
Hey, Cub, congratulations. When you say, you know, stop doubting me, who are you directing that to?
The media, the people. It just, you know, I was the number 4 ranked guy. This guy had a lot of hype, but I'm the veteran. I've been around. I caught a glimpse of the odds. I think I was like at like a negative 300. Doo Ho Choi was the favorite by negative 300. So, I mean, 3-1 underdog. That's pretty ridiculous to me. You know, I know he had a lot of hype, but I took a little offense to that.
Did you feel like this was one of those matchups where there's this young guy who's doing so well, who, you know, comes from a market that the UFC is trying to build, and they're putting in the veteran against him to try to build his name? Did you feel like you were kind of being backed into a corner?
A little bit. You know, they were giving him the opportunity to shine. I felt like he was getting a lot of hype, and I see why. I mean, there are some great Korean fighters. He's definitely a talent. He's fresh meat, you know, and the featherweight division's been a weird division. All the guys at the top have been at the top for so long, and it's the fans. It's nice for them to get some new guys coming in, and I could see why they would want him to be right up in the mix. But I just felt like I wasn't gonna let him make a name for himself off of me, and he could do it to somebody else, just not me.
And as someone who is, you know, on a roll and at the top of the division, how do you feel about the state of the division? You know, with Conor leaving, he was the champion. He beat Aldo in impressive fashion. Do you feel like him relinquishing or vacating the title and not being a part of the division, do you feel like there's something missing? There's not that, you know, that king to shoot for because he's gone now?
No, not at all. I'm glad he's gone. Not a fan of the guy. He didn't want to defend his belt. I don't think anybody thought he was going to come back down to 145. It's obviously a hard cut for him. It was ridiculous. All these guys fighting great fights in the 145-pound division and not having something to shoot for with a guy that's not even fighting in our weight class anymore. So I think at first people might talk and have negative things to say, but, you know, once Aldo and Holloway probably fight and things get, you know, cleared up and new guys are coming in, I think it's going to be for the better.
One last thing, are you not eager to jump back in there? Like you said, you're going to come back if the UFC offers you, you know, a big fight. You said you've done this for 13 years. Are you going to be more strategic now with the kind of fights that you're taking? Have you reached that point?
I think so. You know, it's I got my UFC gym coming out, UFC Gym Costa Mesa. Me and Bisbing starting the gym, and I'm excited to get back to work. And it's going to open in a couple weeks. And you know, I want to focus on that. I want to focus on just staying in shape and enjoying it. And you know, I fought 3 fights, you know, back to back, and you know, I want to treat my body right. So I definitely will be excited for a big fight.
Thanks.
Cobb, one last question. So you mentioned you've always had a lot of love for your friend Groovy Lando. Did you see the kick, and how excited were you?
Yeah, it was like 20 minutes before I had to check in downstairs to come over here, so we threw it on Fight Pass. And, you know, I sparred him. He wasn't the style of guy I needed, but I sparred with him a bunch of rounds just because I knew that he would push me, and we would have some epic rounds. And, you know, so I've seen all his moves before. I know what he does. I know what he brings to the table. I just think, you know, he's the future. He's one of those guys, and he needed a big win to come back off after his loss because there was a lot of hype on him, and he performed, and you know, it just made me proud.
And are you guys going to have a money fight with the $50,000 bonuses you're both likely to win?
I'm gonna try to teach him how not to spend it. You know, I'm gonna teach him how to be, you know, real frugal and be smart with our money.